Okay, on to our next question, and this one is about herniated discs. The question is, I have a herniated disc in my lower back. What exercises should I avoid in the gym? That's a great question. The first thing I want to do is define what a herniated disc is. So if we look at the spine, and I happen to have one right here, we have the vertebrae, which are the bones. They sit one on top of each other, and the disc sits in between. Now, the spinal cord runs down the whole spinal column, kind of like a stack of toilet paper, and the hole going down the middle is kind of where that spinal cord would run. And at each level, you have nerves that branch out. In the neck, they go down to the arm and the hand. In the lower back, they go down to the leg and the feet. Now, in between each of those vertebrae, you have what's called a disc. The disc is kind of like a cushion. It allows for movement, shock absorption, things like that. The disc is very tough, very strong. It's sometimes it's described like a jelly donut because it's kind of like hard on the outside and then has some fluid on the inside. So it's kind of thought of like a jelly donut, but that I think is not the best way to view a disc. So jump forward a little bit. What a herniated disc is when on an MRI we see some of that disc kind of popping out of that space and kind of encroaching in on the like the canal that sits around the spinal column. It could be hitting a nerve, it could not be hitting a nerve, it could be different severity, so it could be popping out a little bit, could be popping out a lot, but that's what a herniated disc is. Now, herniated discs are actually quite normal to see on MRIs. Think of it like wrinkles on your skin or like gray hair, but on the inside of your body. I use that metaphor a lot. It's just a somewhat of a normal change that happens within our spines as we live on planet Earth and fight gravity every day. So if you have lower back pain and you see a healthcare provider and you get an MRI and you see a herniated disc, don't freak out. It's okay. A herniated disc is not a diagnosis. It's not some kind of disease. And really, we don't know if that herniated disc on that MRI is even causing your pain. You could have had that herniated disc for the past 15 years and never even knew about it. We have good evidence that shows us that asymptomatic individuals actually have herniated discs and different tears and abnormalities on imaging. So if you have a herniated disc, don't focus on that disc because there's not much we can do to intervene with that disc anyway, and we don't even know if it's what's causing your pain. So if someone, say you have two people that present with back pain, one has a herniated disc on an MRI, the other person doesn't. If they're presenting the same exact way and they're responding to the same exact things, the same things provoke their pain, the same things relieve their pain, I'm not going to treat them any differently. I'm going to treat them the same, regardless of what the image shows, okay? And there isn't an exact protocol either to treat a herniated disc. So that's why it's hard to answer the question, which exercises should I avoid if I have a herniated disc? The answer is none. The answer is which exercises tend to provoke your pain. Those are the ones that you should avoid. So two people can have a herniated disc at the same level of the same intensity, and one person can have a lot of pain at the bottom of a squat, and the other person could have a lot of relief from their symptoms at the bottom of a squat. Now, they have the same image, right? The same quote-unquote pathology on their MRI, but they're presenting completely differently. So that's why it's important to understand that just because you have this herniated disc, it doesn't mean that it's some kind of disease. So if you find yourself with an MRI that says you have your herniated disc, don't worry about it. It could have been there for years and years, way before you even had pain, and it's not going to really impact the way that you go about treating your back pain. We're still going to find out what provokes it, what relieves it. We're going to modify activities in the gym, outside of the gym, and then gradually expose you to those desired movement patterns, all while desensitizing that pain response and making it more resilient over time.